Before we start off today, there's two things I want to talk about, just quickly address. One, this is pretty much going to be the end of the beginner level why you're not making gains content. So going forward from here on out, we're going to move into the intermediate section. Again, I'm getting to it. I'm slow. I'm sorry, but I will compile all of these into a playlist that says beginner why you're not making gains. It's coming. I promise you that much. Two, y'all know these are clips. This is for the Instagram people, the ones who see this when I post the reels on Instagram as a clip of the full video. This is a clip of a much longer video. Just so you guys know, I'm realizing a bunch of you don't know that this is actually from a much longer piece of content on YouTube. So I'll try to make sure that I post the link to it there right below me somewhere on the screen, but this is not the entire video, just so you know. There's a lot more content. And once you get to YouTube and see all of the other pieces, you're gonna know there's a lot there. Feel free, peruse, go through, soak up the content. It's gonna help you, I am sure of it. Now let's get to the real stuff. This week's reason why you're not making gains, and the last of the beginner reasons. You've given up on yourself. You gave up. And this isn't to say that I'm taking pity on you or say that, you're a bad person for doing so, but it happens to the best of us. You considered the possibility or got it into your head somehow that where you are is as far as you'll ever gonna make it. You thought to yourself that wherever you happen to be is the absolute limit of your genetic capabilities. You thought that was the end of the road, but the reality is you don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. That's kind of the beauty of fitness, exercise, and bodybuilding really as a whole. Nobody knows what your genetic potential is. As far as I know, there are no reliable methods to truly decode what you are genetically capable of. It's why when we see these genetic outliers, these Chris Bumsteads popping up, they're so incredible to see and to watch because they're anomalies. They're the absolute pinnacle of what's capable when your genetics allow for absolutely ridiculous gains. But you can fall anywhere on the spectrum below that, or even at that level on the spectrum, but you won't know until you actually try. And I apologize if this sounds like some Tony Robbins, David Goggins. I don't intend it to, but it's the reality of the situation for a number of people out there. You gave up. And so you decided to stop trying, to stop reaching, to stop pushing for anything more. Now, this doesn't mean that, you're the kind of person who isn't trying when you go into the gym, but there are other things you could be doing that you just don't want to do, that you aren't doing. You could try to find more knowledge to increase your understanding as to what you could do to maximize your gains, your potential. You gave up on trying to invest in yourself so that you could find the right people who already knew that knowledge, who could then find a way to bring out your potential. You gave up on prioritizing it over things like watching an entire Netflix series in like a day or two, or, eating out a couple times a week. You put it way on the back burner. You just kept pushing it and pushing it. And before you knew it, you had fully given up. Not just delayed it, but given up. A permanent delay is the same thing. So perhaps you need to think about that. Am I giving up? Do I want to give up? Do I want this to be the end? If not, there are ways to truly see and explore these limits of what you're capable of. But until you've truly pressed every button, pulled every lever, tried every method, you don't know. I don't know. It's a beautiful thing, but it's also terrifying. I get it. But again, you have to try. So, I guess that's all we have to talk about today. You're clear of the beginner content. Don't go any further than this if you haven't watched all the content that came before this, because it'll just be confusing. You need a proper foundation before you apply anything I'm about to talk about coming up for the next couple weeks, however many weeks it takes for me to get through the intermediate content. You need to build a proper foundation in order to build a good structure on top of it, just like anything in this life. If you have a crappy foundation, everything that comes afterwards is going to be garbage, and it's set to crumble eventually. So that brings us to the end of the set. Rack it.